This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Did it start pouring rain yet? Because it was sprinkling when I went for my walk this morning.
It was a light sprinkle when I got here. So it's
still a light
about
sprinkle.
to start. Yep.
Oh, it is about to start.
Or at least it looks like it.
It's like 3 hours of rain today, right?
2 or 3. Yeah. You know what the good news is about that?
What?
I can't have my power knocked out again since it's already out.
There you go.
So
you
I'm unfazed by whatever rain is coming today.
did your substation get hit by lightning or something?
I don't know. It's weird because it's like half of across the street, everybody seems fine. It's houses that are like in one little block to my left. We all don't have power.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
you know, if you go to the right, everybody down there is hooting and hollering with their AC, which I'm super jealous of. So
You reminded me of a story, man. You guys always remind me of stories. I had a friend, I won't say what his name was because I don't want to embarrass his whole family. But I said, hey, man, I said, God, last night I walked by your house. Where were you guys? Because what do you mean? I said, well, yeah, you guys were gone. He goes, no, we weren't. We're at home. I said, your house was completely dark. He goes, oh, it got hit by lightning. No, you didn't pay your electric bill. Don't give me this lightning bullshit. They didn't pay their electric bill, so they shut their electricity off, which I don't think they can do anymore. I'm almost certain they cannot do that to you anymore.
I think it depends on what time of the year it is.
Oh,
I know when it's cold out, they
Yeah.
don't, because they don't want you to freeze to death. I'm not sure if they have the same thing because they don't want you to like cook in the oven of your house, but yeah, I don't know. I think they can still cut it off.
Can they really?
in certain months, I think they can. But if you
Probably,
yeah. Otherwise, I think there's a story of like this guy, this musician or whatever, but he lived out in California. And it was like they couldn't shut off your water and like electricity if you called and said you were mailing a check on the first of the month. So he would wake up first of the month. Offices would open at 8 o'clock. He'd be on the phone at 8:01 being like, I have a check. And he's like, I did this for 25 years. And eventually I had to go in there to like actually make a payment, you know, for once. And he's like, everybody in the office stopped what they were doing, came to the desk and was like, we have waited for you to come in. Because there was a pool every month on the first. We would all sit around the phone and be like, it's Berditzman, it's whoever, it's Craig Smith.
They're great.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, yeah, paying the bills back in the old days. You ever stand on a welfare line?
Nope. Can't say I did.
No.
That's a thrill. You should give it a whirl sometime.
Okay.
2 things happened to me that I got ridiculed for both. I had to stand in a welfare line to collect my mother's check because she was working like 14 hours that day or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I collected a check. And the other time, the only time I've ever been in court, I had to go to court one time and I got off with basically nothing. But the greatest thing about it was I get to court and I'm sitting there and they noticed before I did because I was only one. I was the only white guy in the courtroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was packed with black people, right? And so this started. Oh, somebody's going to prison. He's going to prison. They got Whitey in here. And they just would not leave me alone. Whitey's going to prison was what they thought. Thanks for your support, you pricks. Honestly, I will never forget that. I was the only white guy in the entire courtroom.
They give you the slap on the wrist and the whole courtroom just erupts with cheers.
Yeah.
We did.
Not so much of this one, but
No.
you know, it all works out in the end. No, I was driving without a license. I was like 16 years old, driving without a license. So it was like a $40 fine or something, which was pretty big in those days. I think $40 back then was a lot of money. The headline of the day, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the Wall Street Journal is I'm tired, I'm done. Nation faces exhaustion and division after Trump assassination attempt. We have been talking about this for a year and a half on this show, the Tom Barnard Show with AJ and Tevin. We've been talking about this is getting more and more dangerous. You guys obviously remember us talking about this was predictable because it got worse and worse and worse. How old was the kid? 20?
20 years old.
He was
Couldn't
20
even buy
years
a
old,
beer
yeah.
yet.
Jeez.
Couldn't buy a beer yet, and he wasn't getting laid because you see him? He's a goofball.
I guess we can probably crack jokes about him, right?
So I'm cracking jokes about that prick opening fire on a bunch of people.
Unbelievable.
What the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you, boy? But yeah, so they're up on stage, and we literally have been talking about this for the last year and a half. We cannot continue with that ultra far right bullshit and this woke bullshit, because it's the same deal, only you're the one who benefits from it. You're the exact same kind of people. How do they not realize that? If you're that extreme, that other end's going to come around and make contact with you. There's no reason to be that extreme in your politics.
Yeah, I'm not the most political person.
No,
but I enjoy letting people do what they want.
Yes,
but I think after this weekend, it's fair to say if you make politics like a personality trait, you're a loser.
I agree, 100%.
That's my biggest thing. Like, you can have an opinion on stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you are, if you go and every conversation piece, if you go down to the bar and you're trying to strike up conversations, like it's the same guy who's trying to tell you about his fantasy football team.
Yes,
I don't care that you drafted Adrian Peterson. Who cares?
That's a very good point. I can't listen to that stuff.
It's not my team.
Exactly.
Well, you're going to have your opinions, and that's just fine. But if you keep, to your point, Tom, this is what we've been talking about. If you keep driving these narratives and you keep trying to rile people up, you get what happens, which is ridiculous that we have gotten to this point. Like, I understand, having a disdain for another side because you don't see eye to eye. But if you look at after the incident, Biden calls up Trump as one should. It's what
very nice.
That says a little bit of like, okay, look, we are obviously opponents here. We're going at it at the battle. What do you say? The battle box, which was funny. The ballot box this fall. But
did he say the battle box?
That's the thing.
Oh, no.
I think he corrected himself on the second go around, but he said the battle box, which is honestly, I kind of like that better.
Yep.
But he's extending the olive branch of, hey, I see this is wrong. And with all of the politicians coming out on both sides condemning this type of action, I think it says a lot.
No question about it. I have a prediction, by the way, and I think it's going to be right on the money.
What a rip.
Because I think it's the only way that Biden can really, the fact that he reached out, I thought was terrific. He got to reach out, I understand, but he did. And that's the important thing about it. I think what's going to happen in order to get people's maybe attention and try to make everybody look good in this deal, I am predicting today that President Biden is going to pardon President Trump from that trial he just went through. I think he's going to set him free, because if he doesn't, he's going to look like he was part of the deal that riled everybody up. Going after the guy who prosecuted him, he was like one of Biden's best friends, and he left DC to go work on this thing in New York. I mean, you guys know that, right?
No.
Yeah, it's a good buddy of Biden's. Biden's going to have to pardon him on that deal. Otherwise, I don't think he's got a chance in the race. I just don't think he does.
Oh, I don't think he has a chance. I don't think there's really anything that Biden can do. No, not at this point, especially after the assassination attempt, where just because the photo of Trump with the fist in the air after getting shot, like, okay, that's pretty badass. Even if you don't like it, it looks pretty badass. And so, I don't think there's really much that Biden can do at this point, because he was already on the way out. Like, people didn't even want him to run to begin with. Yeah. And so now it's like, well, we don't want him anyway. And I guess Trump has got now this momentum, which is weird how an assassination attempt can boost your ratings.
Have they officially nominated him? Is there no going back now?
Nominated Biden? Or
because
Trump?
I know the Republican convention is like this week or something.
I think it starts today.
It starts today.
I think.
But I don't know if the Democratic convention has, and they've officially done like the cemented, he's our guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. Look, I'm in a situation where my mother was an ardent Democrat. She loved being, particularly when JFK, of course, got elected, because she was Roman Catholic. Then it really went over the top. But I have loved Democrats and Republicans my whole life. Her best friend was a Republican guy. He's my third. What? Okay, well, if he's my mother's cousin, that means he's what? My third cousin or second cousin? What is he?
Is he a second cousin once removed?
I maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea.
He was about 6'3". He was a detective on the Minneapolis Police Department. and I would not want him arresting me. And I love the guy dearly. No, as a matter of fact, I got the great honor of sitting with him and talking with him just before he died. He called and asked if I'd come and see him. And I said, in a minute. Lamont Dean was his name. But so I grew up in a household where you honored Republicans and you honored Democrats. They were both very, strong in their beliefs, but they loved each other and they got along famously. It's how things are supposed to be, and I really don't like the fact that the national news, what I would do literally, ladies and gentlemen, is stop watching the national news until they start acting like human beings, because they're already covering up the fact on some news shows that the kid gave $15 to the Democratic Party. Matter of fact, they don't even bring up the fact that it's a Democratic Party thing. They just bring up the name of the fund. Yeah,
it was the liberal campaign group Act Blue.
Act Blue, yeah,
2021.
There you go. I mean, why are you covering that up? Can we have all the facts here if you're going to talk about this? Why don't we give all the facts to the people, let the people decide what's going on? And the other thing about it is, and I suppose I'm so touchy about this because I went through it personally, that thing at KQ was all because of woke politics. The whole thing, I still don't understand how you can be woke and drunk at the same time. That's the part I just don't get.
How'd you wake up drunk?
How the hell do you wake up drunk every morning? But it's got to stop. I mean, just abusing people because of your bullshit politics. Look, to me, about 80% of all politics, left and right, is complete bullshit. It's all about the money. I mean, I wish you would understand that, ladies and gentlemen. These people do this to make money, like CNN and Fox in particular. They do what they do because they make millions of dollars doing it. That's why they take these strong positions, right?
Yeah. And with the kid information, like his dad bought him the gun. So I wonder if there's going to be more. I mean, I hope there's more investigation into it, but I wonder if anything, because now the big thing is they charge parents with, if you buy your kid a gun and then he goes and commits a mass shooting,
like reckless,
you get charged, as well. So I wonder if the parents will have any repercussions as well.
Yeah, his dad gave him the gun, right?
Oh yeah, I bought it for him 6 months ago. According to the BBC.
And what kind of gun was it? Was this the assault rifle? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it just says the weapon purchase. It was a long range gun. And he was like, I guess they know that he's been at multiple different gun ranges practicing on targets up to 171 meters away.
Oh, well.
So, I don't know if this was true or not, but I saw that he get turned down from joining his high school's gun club because somebody, apparently the administrator for that was like, he was so reckless and his shooting was so inaccurate that it was almost dangerous to people. So we had to say not today.
Not today, but maybe next year.
As it turns out, the guy was right because he missed 7-8 times or whatever however many bullets he shot.
That's the only because Trump turned his head, though. They say.
Oh, really?
That's what they're saying. I didn't notice that he actually, I thought he kind of turned his head to the right and then it hit his right ear.
Mm-hmm.
So are they saying if he hadn't turned his head, it would have hit him in the temple or something?
Yeah, that would make sense because
I guess
his grazed your ear.
I've never been shot. I've been hit with an arrow. I've been stabbed. I've been all that good stuff, but I've never been shot. You guys ever been shot?
No.
Knock on wood.
I don't think I know some people are I'd like to have that as so I could say it. No, you don't.
You don't. You really don't.
What a dumb thing.
Well, I'll give you an example. We're going to take a break right here, and our rating is going to be shot because Phil's coming on next. So you see what I'm saying? So we just walked right into that one.
Oh, that's incredible.
I don't know why. Mike Lindell of MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code Tom. I see they're going after Mike again about he might lose his factory, and oh my God, I thought he paid the bill.
I don't know, but we could do this after the break. Mike Lindell was in a very popular TV show, or he wasn't, but he was mentioned in a very popular TV show.
Really?
Yeah, The Boys.
The Boys?
Yeah, on Amazon.
Was it a positive mention?
It was relatively positive, I guess. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, because apparently you were talking about he's going to lose his factory or something, but then I heard that he paid the bill, so I don't know what that's all about. I mean, I don't know, whatever. He's always been great to me, I'll tell you that. People have different experiences. you don't like his politics, then, you don't want his pillow. Good for you. But he's always been great to my family. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived. It won't last long. 6-pack towel sets are only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM. You get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146, or you can just go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM, please.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Let us take a second to talk about my bank. That would be, of course, North American Banking Company. I just call them NABC. Get it? Because we're close. You know what I mean? See what I'm saying? Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, Phil Mackey.
Yes.
What's that?
Boy, what a weekend, huh?
Yeah, it was really a thrill. There's no question about that. And I just, but Phil, as you know, we've been a year and a half. We've been talking this show. We need to get these far edges to back off. They're crazy, and it's on the far right and the far left both. There's no question about it. These people need to shut up. This is what they need to do.
Also, I felt like an asshole on Saturday night. So Judd and I were at Declan's wedding on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Sometimes you go to a wedding and you're just like, whatever's happening in the world around you, you put your phone down and then you maybe check back in with the world later on that night or even the next morning.
Yeah.
And so Declan gets married, and beautiful ceremony, the Hutton House on Medicine Lake.
Great venue.
Yeah, just fantastic venue. And so he gets done. By the way, 11-minute ceremony. Pace of play, very snappy.
Now you're talking.
As a guy who grew up Irish Catholic, sometimes you have like a halftime and a regroup. About 4 hours later, and they finally tie the knot. So, anyways, he gets married. We decided this would be a good time to do a Phil Judd Declan social media video, a little post game show in our suits and celebrate. So we put out this celebratory fun video. Hey, Declan got married. Post. And then I start scrolling through Twitter, and like 30 minutes beforehand, assassination attempt. And of course, people jump in. They're like, how could you post anything other than reaction to what happened at the Donald Trump rally? So I don't know. I think a lot of people were probably going about their weekends and sort of like maybe you're a couple beers in and you open up social media, or you turn on the TV and you're like, what? In some ways, it's shocking. In other ways, I'm shocked that it hasn't happened, an attempt on some high-profile politician's life in the last 8 years.
And because people are so filled with hatred for no reason. I don't have to agree with everything you do, and I don't hate you because of that. Yeah. You be you. You had a different life than I had, 100%. So calm down, for Christ's sake.
I feel like there's like 6 hours worth of talking points here too. I mean, there's just there's everything you guys talked about in the first segment, but then there's the whole Secret Service fail angle to this, where you think about some of the crowded downtown areas with skyscrapers that, I mean, the more complicated settings that they secure on a regular basis, and for there to literally be people in the crowd just based on some of the reports looking over being like, well, that looks wrong. Why is right? And I mean, it wasn't like you were in some metropolis with 18 different buildings to secure. So just, I mean, even that angle is wild to me.
One building, or maybe two, but one main building that was like, if there's one roof to watch, it's the only one.
It was that one
field. Yeah, he had one job.
You're right, and he was just standing on top of it, wasn't even hiding.
Yeah, I saw. God, there's so many, and it's hard. It's hard when you're going through like social media and some of the different website links. Like, you have to be really diligent about what's real, what's not, what's AI, what's not. But but there was one thread that because a lot of people now, it's easy to have a hot take about everything, and there's the footage of the sniper on the rooftop who's running security, right? And people criticizing, well, why did he hesitate? And well, think about being in that moment. You're looking over and you're trying to process within like 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? If I'm wrong, I go to jail, right? So, and you're trying to process this. I mean, to me, not securing the area in the hours leading up to the event is what needs to be figured out here.
How he got up on that roof in the first place, and the fact that he was just standing there. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Your job. There's no question. This is going to be tough for a while. Why people are so hate-filled. I'm sick of your hatred. I really am. I wouldn't waste my time hating him. There are people I don't like. There are people I don't ever want to see again, but I don't hate them. I wouldn't use anywhere near that much energy to hate anybody.
How do you think this plays out the next 5 or 6 months?
I got no idea what the situation is, because they're already covering up some of the stuff on, this channel's covering that up. You got CNN covering this up, and then you got Fox covering the other thing up. And it's just, could you get away from grabbing the money grubbing pukes that you are for just maybe a few months? Would that be good?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, you think?
Yeah. It is. There's really no precedent. I mean, there's obviously precedent for assassinations and assassination attempts, but there's no precedent for the time that we're living in and the uncertainty that everyone operates in, and the agendas that people are pulled toward. We're going into a weird 3 to 6 months here that there's really no way to predict what's going to happen.
My children are a little older. My children are in their mid-30s, but I talk to people now who have children in school. And children are being taught, hey, this world's all about you. It's your world. You're in your own head. So you are very, very important, and you don't have to put up with this, and you don't have to be. They're teaching kids some of the worst things kids will ever hear. And for some reason, they think that's a really good idea. And I don't understand why. I don't get it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you want some Vikings news?
Is there any booze involved?
Well, possibly. We don't know what the blood alcohol level is yet, but so imagine this for a second. So the news is, for maybe people just kind of waking up and they didn't see this last night. Jordan Addison, the Vikings' second best wide receiver, 10 touchdowns last year as a rookie. So he was arrested near LAX last night, or this would have been a few nights ago, I guess, for being asleep at the wheel of his Rolls Royce, blocking a lane of I-105 westbound.
Jesus. Oh God.
Now, in a vacuum, that's bad. Okay. And
sure.
And it's a suspected DUI, but they haven't released what his blood alcohol level was. So obviously his teammate was just killed in a car accident last weekend.
Yeah.
In a high speed, potentially alcohol involved situation. But if you look at the track record of Jordan Addison now, last summer he was driving 140 miles an hour on a Minneapolis freeway.
Sure.
He said it was because he had a dog emergency at home, but people deemed that he was driving the opposite direction of his home. And I don't think we ever got the follow up to whether the dog was fine or not. So kind of feels like a dog ate my homework situation.
Sure.
And then now he's asleep at the wheel of his Rolls Royce in Los Angeles, suspected DUI. So, yeah. By the way, I'll never understand $14 million contract, $7 million signing bonus. You can't pay $100 for an Uber Black.
I know.
Well,
I don't get it.
In LA, what is the cost of an Uber? It can't be that expensive, right? Like,
you're on the freeway a lot. I mean, the freeways are jammed. Let's say it's $200 for an Uber Black, because you're not just doing Uber anything if you're an NFL player. By the way, NFL teams, doesn't matter what state you're in. You call the Vikings, I need a ride hotline, and they'll just handle it for you.
Yep.
They have a guy. All the teams have a guy on staff that is specifically, he has a group of people that is just for player safety and player, like, hey, you need me to come pick you up drunk from some dive bar in the middle of Minnesota. I got you. I'll be there in an hour. Just stay put.
Right.
So yeah, they eliminate any excuse for doing what he did, allegedly.
So there's no excuse for this then,
no,
right?
absolutely not.
Okay.
Zero. No.
See, if I was a prick, because I've never had one, if I was a prick, I'd go, you guys ever been arrested for DUI?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to ask that question.
No.
So, I know you're quality people, so it's just never happened.
But like if you're an NFL player who has, again, a $7 million signing bonus and a team, if you just call the team, whether you're in Minnesota or Los Angeles, they will say, oh yeah, just stay put. We will send and we're not just going to send like some crappy 1999 Honda Civic with a spoiler. Okay. We'll send a black Cadillac SUV, whatever you want.
Yep. Yeah. Don't get behind the wheel drunk. It's just not a good idea at all. It just nothing good can come of it. Either you run over someone and kill them, you get arrested, something happens.
Yeah.
And this is a potential 3-game suspension.
There is some precedent for there. Yes, he could get suspended for 2 or 3 games. There is some precedent for that. When he was drafted, my red flag went up a little bit when it comes to his judgment and just overall intelligence. So they showed on like the Vikings YouTube channel, they showed the behind the scenes of players getting drafted, and Kevin O'Connell, I think it was either Coach Kevin O'Connell or the GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah was on the phone with him. And hey, Jordan Addison, welcome to Minnesota, man. We're so happy to make you a Viking. What are your thoughts? And it's like literally the first words out of his mouth after getting drafted, his dream to get drafted in the NFL was, "Let's get paid."
Let's get paid. That kind of happens, doesn't it?
So he says, "Let's get paid," and then a few months later, gets pulled over going 140 miles an hour on a Minneapolis freeway. And then asleep at the wheel, DUI, Rolls Royce, Los Angeles, all within like a 15-month span here. I think we can put him in the questionable judgment bin and just sort of set him aside over here.
That's a very good call. Now, I know you got to get going in a minute, so I got to throw this at Declan. You didn't have the best wedding ever because I was given that magnificent treat. I got married in 1984 to Catherine Brandt. We've been married, like I said, 40 years on July 7th. We had been together for about 4 years. And so we get married at St. Stephen's out there. And is that Minnetonka or I don't know what the hell that is, but St. Stephen's, nice church. So we're getting married. And you guys remember Craig Schumacher? You remember that name?
Craig Schumacher. Oh,
no.
He worked at Hubbard for quite some time. He had his own show. Craig was a very, very good friend of mine. I don't even know where he lives now. Somebody told me he moved out of state, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. But at our wedding, and nobody knew he was going to do it. So everybody's in place. They start the wedding. So they start and he's playing the instruments, right? Shoe Bob. As I'm walking down the aisle, I turn around and I get the da 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 da, right? So now Catherine, and by the way, there was about a 3-second period. I went, what if she doesn't come?
Yeah.
I did. See, I realizing she's far too good for me is all I'm saying. But as soon as Catherine was about a quarter of the way down the aisle to walk up to the altar to get married, this is what she hears. And I had no idea who was going to do it. You hear this. He starts playing the Twins theme. As he's walking down the aisle, he's playing the Twins theme, which I thought was wonderful.
You guys are reading vowels. Charge.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look at the Twins scoreboard. Oh my God, I will never keep place. We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score.
Somebody stands up. Cold beer here. Get your cold.
Yeah, was Wally the beer man at your wedding?
I think I loved Wally the beer man. Whatever happened to Wally?
I think he got canceled for serving a beer to like a 16-year-old on accident. So he was doing Saints games for a while. It was a good run for Wally.
He was a good guy. I always liked him a lot. Was he like a postal worker or something in the daytime or?
Oh, was he?
I think so.
I always thought he was just like, 7 figures off of beer sales. I thought he was.
Well, could have been. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. No question about it. But so tell Declan congratulations. So you like his wife, and don't lie.
Yep. No, 100%. Yep. She came on our podcast like 2 weeks ago to make predictions about the wedding. So the whole night we were tracking, like, will Declan spill something on himself? Will Declan have 3 buttons undone on his dress shirt at some point? Will Declan's brother cry during the groomsmen speeches? The answer was yes, by the way, on the last one.
And I will tell you, yeah, because I know you're thinking, why, if you lived where you lived, Tom, on 35th and Penn in North Minneapolis, why did you get married at St. Stephen's in Minnetonka?
Yeah.
Because
cake eater.
Yeah, cake eater. Because every wedding I ever attended in my life in North Minneapolis, there's been a fist fight.
Oh,
every one of them. So I'm like, no, we're not having a fist fight at my wedding. Catherine wanted to punch Schumacher for playing the Twins, but she didn't. So that worked out. But yeah, I'm not kidding you. Every damn time we went to it, usually Howie's Bar, which was it was called DeLisi's later on, and it's closed now, I think. It's on Penn and West Broadway.
Yeah.
You would walk upstairs, and there's this big hall up there, and they'd have these receptions. Every time, you son of a bitch, and all of a sudden, somebody's in a fist fight. A couple of times, it was the father of the bride and the groom slugging it out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Twice.
See, we should organize it. People can play some bets, bring some cash.
I like that call. That's a good call.
I got the father of the groom in 3 rounds or less. 3 rounds or less.
It's a different world, thank God. And you know what somebody always did? I'll close with this. The first thing they did, if a big fight broke out, they'd run up to the stage and grab the mic stand, because that thing weighed about 50 pounds, man. That piece of metal hitting you in the noggin would hurt just a
the bottom
little
of that
bit.
mic stand, man.
Oh, God.
Do some damage.
What a great childhood I had. Wasn't it just wonderful?
And DeLisi's, man. We could do a whole show about DeLisi's, I feel
You used to go to DeLisi's?
I've been to DeLisi's. My dad took me to all the salt of the earth places before he passed on.
Did he really? Now, are you talking about the DeLisi's that was out in Brooklyn Park, or the one that was in North
Brooklyn Park?
There was one in Brooklyn Park too. So same family though.
Okay.
So you got the feeling for DeLisi's. You understand.
DeLisi's, and then Rocky Rococo was over.
Rocky Rococo.
Brooklyn Boulevard. That's a good one.
It was one of those in Hopkins too, I remember. All right, Palomino, we'll talk to you on Friday.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks a lot. Phil Mackey, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North. That's so nice. Declan is I don't know him really well, but he's just always so pleasant. Don't you think? You worked with him for a long time?
Yeah, we actually went to college together.
Oh, you did?
He was my boss my freshman year. He was the sports director at 88.1 KVSC. That was the
KVSC?
Yeah, it was the knowledgeable voice of St. Cloud.
Oh, Jesus.
It was on campus.
I got to go home.
Yeah.
I got to head to the house. That's all there is to it. Some guy, Egert, whatever his name is that it?
Something like that.
Sounds right.
Chris Egert, news up next. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement
Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell of MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings 8 to 9:30 or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Bet you're kind of a busy bee these days, huh?
Yeah, what a weekend.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I am honestly so disgusted at the way people reacted to that.
Yep.
I honestly thought people were better. I spent an hour yesterday and an hour Saturday unfollowing people on Twitter who were retweeting the most insane, hateful, ridiculous stuff. And oh God.
Like what were they posting? Because I posted a couple of things on social media.
I mean, the second after it happened, people are like, well, too bad they couldn't find somebody who's a better shot, all this stuff. And it's like, dude, it's a former president. Like, put all that aside. It's a human being. I found it all very jarring. And I think that's what people should. This isn't a reality show. Like, this is real life. Can you imagine if he had died? Can you freaking imagine?
No, you're right.
What would be happening right now? People are insane.
In that few-year period back when JFK was assassinated, then Robert Kennedy was assassinated, then Martin Luther King was assassinated, not necessarily in that order. I don't mean to put an order out there. But person after person after person was getting executed. I hope that's not what's going to happen here again. I really hope.
And thank you for saying that, because it's freaking disturbing. It hit his ear. Okay, that was an inch away from killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Not even less than an inch. I don't know. I was just very appalled at people's reaction to that this week.
Yeah. And a lot of it is the same people that during like a mass shooting that doesn't involve a president will go, oh, and it affects the people that were there, but not hit, and it's emotionally traumatic. But then all of a sudden that all goes out the window when it's a political person that we don't like. Now we wish it would have happened. So
I couldn't. You're exactly right, Tevin. It was just, and it's gonna. I don't know. I would like to think, and I actually just read in the Washington Examiner right before I came on that apparently, and I don't know how accurate their reporting is. I do look at it from time to time. They said that Trump is going to revamp his speech and redo it. And he had planned more critical of Biden policies, but he's going to rewrite it and make it more unifying and, America get together type, which I hope this experience has done something for him too.
Yep. Absolutely. Biden stepped up, which I really, really appreciated. I made a prediction. Let's see, get your take on it. I think Biden is going to end up pardoning Trump on that trial he just went through. I do. I think he's going to end up pardoning him because that was a very, very harsh trial. Remember how horrible that whole thing was, and the hatred going both ways. Both these guys need to look. You're running against one another, blah blah blah, whatever it takes. Let me put it this way: I played golf on Friday with Johnny Randall and Meat Sauce from K-Fan.
Yeah,
K-Fan and KQRS competed for years. Why don't I hate Meat Sauce? I mean, I do hate Meat Sauce, but it's for a different reason. You know what I'm talking about? No, these are my friends, for Christ's sake.
To your point, and that's I did was it yesterday morning on ABC this week? Excuse me. They had a live shot from the Republican National Convention, and they had Reince Priebus, who is the former chair of the Republican Party. He's running the actual convention. And Donna Brazile, who's a longtime, very well-known left, liberal commentator. And those two sat there and talked. Like, some of it was awkward and you could tell it was kind of forced. But they were just sitting there and going, like, listen, like, politically, we couldn't be any further apart, but like, we're friends. Like, we know each other. Like, we run into each other at all these places. Like, they didn't spell it out this clearly, but like, everyone needs to calm down a little bit about like this, because whether you're Republican or Democrat, like, we're still on Team America. And again, like, I don't know if that was part of it was kind of corny, but I liked what I took away from it.
Yeah.
To maybe explain to people out in the universe a little bit more, like in real life, it's not this charged. Like, we don't hate each other that way.
No, I don't, anybody with any sense. One of the problems that we do have is that the population of the world is up to 8.5 billion people now, which means we've got about 6.5 billion people that are dumber than the son of a bitch. Some people are
and every one of them was on Twitter the last 48 hours.
Yeah, I haven't been on there, so I don't know what the
dang, I was bad, oh my God. I was like, what is wrong? Like, I hope something good comes of this. I'm really gonna hope that. My common sense tells me it probably won't, but you know what? Let's find out if Trump can set the tone with this big time. How he comes and walks away from this, I think we'll have a big impact on how it's viewed going forward.
Well, and I'll tell you, I've talked about this before. When he was president of the United States, I had lunch with Donald Trump, which was quite an honor to have, no matter who the president was.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. If Joe Biden called me today and said, hey, Tom, you want to have lunch? I'd go, absolutely. Of course I would. You're the president of the United States. It'd be wonderful. But what I'm hoping is Donald puts forth his real personality, because he's not like that at all in person. I've known Donald Trump since he wrote that book. What was the name of that? The Art of the Deal. The Art of the Deal. And he used to come on the show all the time, and that's how I got to know him. And then we met, and I had I never played golf with him though, because that boy can play golf, I guess. That's what they're saying. Anyway.
Insert rich guy joke here about he's got plenty of time to play golf, but pre-presidency. Exactly. Well, no, I think that's Donald Trump, the entertainer and the businessman,
yes, right,
and Donald Trump, the politician. He's become a different person, and a lot of people who knew him before would prefer to have him be more like that.
Yes.
But I guess at the end of the day, like either one of them, they're not cartoon characters. They're not they're not Marvel they're not villains from a big screen. Like they're men. They're vulnerable people out there on stage. And I just found when seeing Trump covered in blood, I found that disturbing. I didn't find it
absolutely,
and would the same way if it was Biden or anybody else. Like,
of course,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, this whole situation. It just, obviously you sit there and you can't believe that it happened again, because I'm of a different age than you guys are. We went through a period where everybody was getting shot, for Christ's sake. It was just, and killed. Well, I think George Wallace is the only one who didn't die. I think he got shot and he was in a wheelchair the rest of his life, though, because they shot him in the spine or something?
I don't remember.
If I remember, he couldn't walk anymore.
Reagan was the first one that I remember was, when Reagan got shot. And
he at least had a good line. Do you know what he said to those guys?
I do, but go ahead. What was it? I don't.
So he gets shot. And as he's laying there, these three guys run over and he looked up and said, "I hope you guys are Republican," which was pretty damn funny. I mean, now that's funny.
Didn't he have he was doing a speaking event like the following year because that happened a year prior to the election season, if my memory serves me right. But then the following year he's doing a speech and a balloon pops because they had decorations.
Yeah.
He pops and without missing a beat, he goes, "Miss me," and then gets right back to the speech.
See, now that's where we need to get back to, right there.
And Tom, George Wallace was paralyzed below the waist. After.
Yeah, there you go. I thought so. Yeah. Let's just shoot less people. What do you say? Why don't we not shoot anyone? How about that?
It was so weird because I was driving. I was on my way to the airport and I was flipping back and forth on the radio stations, getting caught up on some news. And they're like, let's listen in on Donald Trump's rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And like, it was a Saturday afternoon at 4:00. I normally would not have been watching TV or listening to and so I was listening to it because I think they thought he might say something about his vice presidential pick. So they're like, let's listen in and see if he has anything to say. And I was listening. And then he made the comment about the chart and then things got quiet. And then you could hear what sounded like fireworks. Like if you're listening to the radio, it sounded like fireworks.
Yep.
And then it got quiet. And like, I was like, wait, what I mean, that second, it immediately occurred to me. I was like, wait, that's not. And then you could hear the fumbling. And then I was like, and I pulled over immediately. I'm like, that's not good. Like that, holy shit, like something bad just happened. And then go ahead, AJ.
That's funny you say that because I do want to credit you. You were the first person that tipped me off that something was going on in the news. I was outside and I checked my phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And I refreshed the feed and at the top was you and it was like, oh my God, what just happened? I was like, okay, if Chris is being serious about something.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me that you were on the road and like pulled over to
I did. I like saw a Holiday gas station because I was like freaking out. I'm like, holy crap. Like, and so I pulled over to the Holiday gas station by the airport there and sat there in the parking lot and monitored the breaking news for the next hour. But and then I was, because at that point you didn't know what happened, but something had happened. But anyway.
Yeah, it's a tough road to hoe, man. You guys ever had anybody in your family killed?
No.
We've had a couple of them in my family, a great uncle, well, two great uncles, and my uncle Augie, my mother's brother, youngest brother. I don't know what he did, but they threw him off like a 20-story building. So he pissed somebody.
Yeah.
But just, thinking about going through all that whole period, the 1960s, was not a great period to be a teenager or a little kid. I'll tell you that. Everybody was getting killed.
Yeah, and let's not go back to that, right?
No. Wait, look, the far left, the far right, you need to dial it back and move toward the middle. Your extreme positions make me want to puke anyway.
Agree.
All about you, me. I'm what's important. No, you're not. Okay, we're all important. Oh, look, who's showing off his tattoos now?
No. I got to go. I'm running behind. I was just getting my earpiece on.
Care that blow the news off. Tell them you'd rather be on here the rest of the day.
It's true, but I do have to go.
All right. Talk to you later. Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. 952-925-5608. No, but he's absolutely right. It just, it's so interesting seeing a guy. Chris Egert has been a news anchor for 30 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see by looking in his eye what he was going to say. He took it very personally and very emotional about it, and you should be.
Yeah.
It's a human being, for Christ's sake. I don't care if you hate them, they're still a human being. Why do you want human beings getting hurt? Oh, God, a better shooter would have killed him. Really? That's what you post on social media. Did they make up a phony name so nobody will catch up with them and knock their ass out for posting that?
I mean, they should. And then it's like, I always roll my eyes because if it was Biden that was on the stage, then the same people that are like,
it would just be flipped.
Yeah,
right?
it would be flipped. And so it's like, come on, you can't just pick and choose what you want.
It's ridiculous. Like, it's such a low point, I feel like. And a look, other countries, I'm sure, like, look at the stuff that is happening is like,
oh yeah,
these guys don't have any of their crap together.
No.
And also, I do want to say, I hope tomorrow we have better news, because this is 2 back-to-back emotionally charged reports by Chris Egert that we've had to do.
Yeah.
I hope we can give him a day off tomorrow with like something a little more lighter, just like, oh, hey, they're making a new flag.
Yep.
So what was it last week again? He lost a poker game or something?
No, on Friday he had the debacle with both his kids.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was like a fight or something, huh?
Yeah. So somebody got hit at a concert, and I know his daughter got injured at a basketball tournament.
Jesus, Palomino. Yeah, that's right. He's going through a rough patch, as they say. I guess. I don't know. Should we be talking about guns and people being shot and then have an Italian on? Is that a good idea?
Well, we'll see. Maybe his arm's still in a sling, and then he's a little out of commission.
Right. He can't get after anybody. Sandy is up next. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Bob Sansevere Sports, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of action over the weekend, pal.
Yeah, nothing much happened, right? Jesus. Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, Tom, the thing that stands out more than anything, and I'm like reading these things and saying, are these people serious? The comments that they made, the hatred for Trump, how some of them thought it was staged or that it was a setup or political theater.
I know.
Hubbits, who's is on the air, has been for years fueling this. Are you that crazy? I mean, these are the same people that are saying that Trump is a threat to democracy. These people are a threat to humanity when you have that type of viewpoint.
Well, there's a local guy saying,
he was one of the ones that it was a political theater.
Who
pushing that?
What channel is he on?
I don't even know if he's on at station now. He keeps bopping around because he can't keep a job at any of them.
Do I know him?
You would know him.
Should I push him down?
I think he pushed himself down with this one. He's like that idiot. I think it's a woman, Jacqueline something, worked for a field director for some the Democratic congressman who wanted to put in that new law that Trump not have Secret Service protection.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You saw that woman, right? What she said about have the better aim. Hey, that's not me talking. She was trying to make a joke about it. You don't make a joke about assassination attempts.
She was joking about they should have had better aim.
Yes. That's what she said.
Jesus. She should be fired from every.
Fired immediately. Yes, all of them. But also, how about our president on last Monday talking about he put a bullseye on Trump?
He did put a bullseye on Trump, but he had the class to reach out to him last night, which he had to do, I understand, but at least he did it.
Yes, and you're right. He absolutely had to, but he basically he wrote the final chapter of his political career. Biden's done. The only shot and you know what? If you're a Democrat, it's not the worst thing because it means you don't have to deal with in 4 years Kamala Harris being your candidate. Now you can do a reset. Because what Trump did, he's become a martyr to these to his followers, and he's also swayed some people. The fact that his ear gets was it shot off or it had to be grazed? It was blood. The way he raised his fist, in defiance, and that is going to be that. We'll see a lot of that in the days, weeks, ahead, leading into the election.
I want to find out who this guy was that said. What did he say again?
It was Jacqueline Marsaw was her name.
Oh, it was a woman. I thought it was a guy.
No, it was a woman who made that comment. There's guys out. I mean,
no, the one I was talking about, you said there was a local guy.
Well, you mean the local one?
Yeah.
Well, put it this way: his last name is a tree. It's
George W. Bush. I guess a bush isn't a tree, though. So.
Close enough. Some sort of foliage.
A tree, maple.
No, I mean he put it out on social media. It was Brian Oak.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Brian did that?
Look him up and see what he wrote.
What did he say that he should have had better aim?
No. He's not the one who said that. But he was one of the ones saying it was political theater. But you know what? He wasn't the one. I mean, people just went off and took that. All the people that hate Trump went from there. Now, Brian's a decent guy, but I just think that when something like this happens, you got to measure your comments.
Where's he working now?
I'm not sure if he is working now.
He's not working now.
Back? Well, he may have. He has gone a few different places.
He's Cities 97. He was good on there.
He's very talented, but But again, and the only thing is just I'm reading and saying, why would you question that this is a setup or a staging by Trump and his people, that they're the ones behind it, and then the people jumping, well, he's a registered Republican. People out there don't understand. There are people who do register as Republican to vote in the primaries. He was a radicalized Antifa member.
Right, exactly. But they don't bring that up on the news ever. I have not heard one national news agency bring that up.
No.
So once again, we've learned nothing from this so far. We have got to turn our backs on Fox and CNN and never watch them again. And if there's any other ones that are that severe, don't use their product. It's disgusting what these people do.
Yes. And here, Tom, I'm going to read you. I'm going to read the comment from this field director for Congressman Benny G. Thompson. Her name is Jacqueline Marsaw. I don't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking.
So is that Tevin's sister?
I don't know.
Get you some lessons?
It's her burner account. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just don't understand. You want somebody to be killed. Really? I can't think of one politician that I wish had been killed. Not one.
You know, and the thing that I saw a number of people pointing out, not a single outcry from the left about gun control after this happened. I'm sure there were. But
Bob, how the hell did they let that guy stand on that rooftop?
Tom, people saw him up there crawling.
I know.
You know what? And I don't know if this is the case, but the head of the CIA or the Secret Service is taking a lot of heat for this, and perhaps justifiably so. She wanted diversity. She wanted more. There were a number of women Secret Service agents, and there was video of them unable to even holster their gun. You know, and they're saying that they're pushing for diversity at the expense of competency.
Why are we doing that again? This is not about skin color or orientation or anything. The best people get the job. How about that?
Yes. And by the way, so people know what Brian wrote. One of the lamest and weakest pieces of political theater I've ever seen. #fiction. He had almost 300 comments. And I don't know if any of them took him to task on it. These are all people who jumped on that.
So this guy almost gets killed. One more, what did they say? A quarter to a half an inch closer, he would have been dead.
Well, if you go if you go a quarter inch, you're in the head. You're in his head.
You're in his head. So this is what you write about. I had a friend call me up and thought it was stage 2. I won't say who it was, but he thought it was staged. Matter of fact, we talked back and forth. I was like, how on earth do you think? So some guy got killed in a staged event?
Yes.
How horrible would that be?
And they blew off the head of the shooter, 20-year-old shooter. Yes, that was staged. But the poor guy, the firefighter who's protecting his kid who was with him, winds up dying, and 2 others are seriously injured. Now, this is not a staged event. It's not political theater. And I actually kind of feel empathy for the people who believe, like Brian, that it's political theater. Take a step back or delete it. Maybe it's still up there, though.
See, I think your political views are a little too extreme if you talk yourself in the fact that was a staged event. I suppose JFK's assassination was a staged event too, because he was he put himself at that one particular window in the book depository and all the rest. I suppose it was staged in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sirhan with Robert F. Kennedy. That was staged too.
That was staged too, apparently. No, you need to get your head out of your political ass, because you are way too far left or way too far right, and we're all sick to death of your puke.
It's
we're
just
sick of it.
The hatred. I mean, it's like a white hot loathing. And these people, I'm guessing they had it, but they've lost any sense of decency and moral compass is gone for a lot of these people.
And what would the benefit be for them if Trump had been killed? What's the benefit for you, Brian?
Well, I'm guessing they never anticipated him being killed, that it was just staged.
Oh, that it was all just staged. Well, how about the guy that did die? Is that okay? Is that staged too?
I can't answer for people. And I mean, again, I like Brian. I mean, I don't know him real well, but I've been in some fantasy leagues with him. So
I've met him a couple times. It's always been nice, but from now on it's going to be, that dumbass.
I don't know why you would. I mean, again, you put it up initially. You thought it. Take it down then.
Yeah, then take it down.
But it's not just him, though. Tom, it's not just him. There are so many people that are writing stuff like this. And you know what? You have to take the task if you're going to. You start at the top with President Biden and that comment he made, and all the other people, the De Niros and the politicians and the actors and all of them. I mean, you had what was it? Johnny Depp with whatever however he talks. Who's the last actor to assassinate a president? Or remember that comment he made a few years ago, and then you had dopey Madonna talking about wanting to drive a plane or fly a plane into the White House. But they
what though? That would have been very important because it'd be the first time that a whore ever flew an airplane into the White House. What? No, I didn't call her that. I just what?
Well, she is an eye-tie, so I have to be a little defensive.
You got to defend her. Bob, I'm just so sick of people. The world has to be my way. That's what this whole far right and woke bullshit is about on the left. The world has to be exactly the way I want it. No, it does not.
And also, and it's been noticeable if you have, because we've all seen it, these magazines and these politicians putting the photo, making him look like Hitler.
I know.
Do you know what Hitler did? I don't think these people really realize what Hitler truly did to this world.
Almost gained control of the entire planet. He came that close. You better consider yourself lucky he didn't. I'll tell you that. Jesus. So basically, they're running a lot of these programs now about the who the third person is going to be. That Nostradamus predicted that 3 evil people would rule the world, and the third one will completely destroy the world. First was Napoleon, who just took over all of Europe. Then, of course, it was Hitler, who almost took over the world. He got really close, but we don't know who the next one's going to be. It's going to be Tevin, I bet.
Yeah, my plan. It's a slow developing plan.
He's using you to make his mark.
Yep.
But I don't think that person, we certainly haven't seen him yet. It's not Trump, even though people want to try to portray it as that.
What's not Trump?
Trump is not the third evil person.
Oh, I mean, God, no, settle down, Jesus. I would say this, and again, this is just life experience. Going through the murder of 3 of my relatives, if you've never been through that, you don't know what that feels like. So maybe you shouldn't be chirping so loudly. My Uncle Augie, I loved that man. He was funny. He was great. Then I find out, and he's been thrown off a building in downtown Minneapolis to his death. You should have to deal with that as a little boy and then tell me how excited you are to watch someone almost get killed.
That's the giddiness. That's what is incredible. You stop. You think that maybe people there's a sense of some sort of civility, and it would never go that far. It went that far. Now, had he been actually assassinated, how would they have reacted to that? They would have been giddy even more so, because they would have gotten what they wanted.
Because they disagree with your politics, you wish them harm and death.
Now, I have to keep going back. I am not a fan of Trump. I knew him back in New York and New Jersey because I covered him.
Yep.
And so, it's not like I'm a fan of his defending him, but I also don't. He's not what people have portrayed. Take a look at some of the accusations that were made against him. That whole Russian hoax was a hoax.
That was a complete hoax, yeah.
And that's what a lot of people use as a jumping off point for hating him.
I am hoping that he does die because, I've known Trump forever and all the rest of it. He's not like that in person. He's nothing like that character he portrays. So maybe it's time to dial that back too. Don't you think?
Well, and there's, again, I'm not going to go off on a tangent about it, but you hear stories from people how he is the first. When Scalise got shot, he was one of the first ones to visit him in the hospital.
Absolutely.
He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't see, and he doesn't publicize.
No, that's very true. And I wish that was a Donald Trump everybody saw, because this act that he puts on, I'm not wild about that either.
No, he was like Sinatra. Sinatra was always there for his friends.
Yeah, oh God, Sinatra was the best, especially the Don Rickles. We got to close with a laugh, Bob. Tell them the Don Rickles story about running into Frank Sinatra and Don had a new girlfriend.
You know who told that story on the Tonight? It was Sinatra telling it.
Yes,
with Rickles sitting there.
It was
about he goes up to Sinatra and say, "Hey, I'm with this is before Rickles gets married. I've got this gal with me. Would you just stop by and say hello?" And Tom, you pick it up from there.
So Rickles is sitting there with this new date that he has, and all of a sudden Frank Sinatra, after Bob just pointed out that he asked him to come over and say hello, she'd be very impressed if Frank Sinatra was my friend. And Sinatra walks up and goes, "Oh, Don Rickles, how you doing?" He goes, "Frank, can't you see we're eating?" He takes a shot at him. The greatest of all time. I'm glad you brought that up, Bob, because everybody needs a laugh today. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, and and in the sports world, you got your 4 best twins are all injured in some way. Correa's not going to play in the All-Star game. He's already backed out of that. Plantar fasciitis in the other foot.
Really?
Not the bad one. Yep. And then Miranda's is hurt. They're all hurt. And then you got Jordan Addison, who might be one of the dumbest young men in the world. I mean, he got in trouble for 140 miles an hour in his Lamborghini.
Yes, I do remember that.
Wasn't in the Lamborghini this time. He was in his Rolls Royce. The kid likes nice cars. Falls asleep. A suspicion of DUI. I mean, how do you not get a wake-up call with the 140, or when you had a teammate die in what was believed to be related to drinking, not by them, but the people who hit them? Kyrie Jackson.
Yep.
He was in his car. He was asleep in his car, in his Rolls, when he got arrested.
He was behind the wheel asleep in a Rolls Royce. Now we're talking.
Here's a kid, by the way, when his career's over, unless he makes some major changes, he'll be broke in a year.
That kind of looks like it. I understand that. All right, Bob, we'll talk to you again on Freitag.
I live for that. All right.
Me too. Thanks a lot, Pally. Bob Sansevere Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. We'll be right back, have a little schmooze, and then following that, Kristen Burt will come on, which we're looking forward to.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. And in the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? Inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
What, you lost your mind? Oh, we're coming back.
Well, you just no headphones were on. We were drinking some pop.
Jesus, Palomino. It's like I thought you were my dad again.
Figured I'd startle you a little bit.
Scared the hell out of
Never cared for him either. I want to point that out. You know, what are you going? Oh my God, this is a horrible headline.
Uh-oh.
Another one?
Well, not horrible in that way. No, it's not like somebody getting shot.
Okay.
Beer, bananas, and foods that might attract mosquitoes. So you're eating a banana outside and mosquitoes love the banana?
I thought that was just anything.
Right. Yeah, you thought it was anything.
If you're just outside, mosquitoes are coming.
I have 2 weekends in a row now inhaled a gnat. You know how
terrible.
I hate it's horrible.
It's good protein.
Because it sticks like right there, and you try to go do all that, or you try to swallow. They must like spread their limbs and hang on to the sides or something, because it takes forever to get rid of those little pricks. I hate you, gnats.
And it's always just like one cloud. Like there's never, like I don't know what, and they all just hang out together, and then you get trapped in it, and it's like you said, you get caught in the back of your throat, and you feel like you're dying.
You know, I go for these long walks, and you know what I've run into twice this week? These colonies of red ants on the sidewalk. There's like thousands of them. What's that all about?
I don't know. Some little kid dropped like a gummy bear or something, and they're all hanging out.
I mean, they're just everywhere. You step in them, they're going to be all over your shoes. So you got to go out in the street because you can't walk in the sidewalk. Like, what the hell? I just, I don't know, whatever. I've never seen that before. I've seen little packs of ants, but not like that, man. Okay, if you want to avoid mosquitoes, think about having a sober summer. At least 2 studies have found you're more likely to get bit after drinking beer. Yeah. It says, well, I'll just deal with the mosquito bites then. It still wants to drink. The science is still up in the air about why mosquitoes love some people and couldn't care less about others. But here are a few more things that might be linked to mosquito bites. Yeah, Catherine gets bitten by mosquitoes a lot more than I do. I don't know why that is. It's because she's so sweet.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's much sweeter than you.
That must be it. Bananas. A study found people were more likely to get bit after eating a banana than after eating grapes. I eat bananas and grapes. Doesn't affect me. Really smelly cheese. They might be attracted to a compound produced by bacteria on our skin called carboxylic acid. Yeah, carboxylic acid. It's also found in stinky cheeses like Limburger. Floral scented foods and desserts. They're attracted to the smell of nectar producing plants. So anything floral could have them heading your way. What floral scented foods? What the hell would that be?
Like a lavender latte from Starbucks or whatever.
Yeah. I suppose. Yeah. Lavender latte. Would that do it?
I'd imagine so. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know what that tastes like, but I can't imagine it tastes great. Maybe I'm wrong.
I wouldn't think. I got to be right with you. A few foods that might keep mosquitoes away include basil, sage, rosemary, grapefruit, and anything with garlic or onions.
Okay. That put garlic and onion powder on everything, so we should be straight.
So you're good to go. You don't ever get bit.
Safe from vampires, too.
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break. Be right back. Kristen Burt joins us next.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I'm not talking just because you did that. We're going to stay silent in here.
All right.
It's going to be now. Once again, I was just sent a picture by one of our listeners. It's Donald Trump holding up his fist and saying "fight." Trump versus Bullet, and then the picture next to it is Joe Biden falling down a flight of stairs. Biden versus stairs. It's like, could you just let it rest for a day or two? Maybe. Do you think is that possible?
No, the internet's too quick. Like we're gonna make jokes about even the presidential assassination attempt the day after.
Jesus, it was Kristen Burt that did it. I know it was her fault. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So quite the weekend, Kristen.
Woo! Talk about like everybody dying, Alec Baldwin's case getting dismissed.
Yeah.
And then you have a presidential candidate assassination attempt.
It's just unbelievable. A 20-year-old kid on top of it. The guy's 20 years old.
And reportedly from his own party, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, he became a Democrat. They're not reporting that part.
They are.
He donated to the Democratic Party.
They actually confirmed that he did not do that.
Yes, he did. I'm sorry. See, here we go already. They just can't admit anything.
What I've seen, they actually confirmed that he did not donate to a Democrat party.
Yeah, but you watch public broadcasting. I mean, they never tell us.
I read Associated Press and Reuters, which are non-biased, fact-based.
Okay, somebody find that story where they say he didn't do that. You're lying.
I'm not lying.
It's your fault. There's no question.
But it just shows that there's and this is, in the age of misinformation, I think that this is a really great example because unfortunately, Elon Musk's Twitter, which I think is, and he calls it X. Sorry, it's still Twitter to me. Right. But in the age of misinformation, he took away all of those verified news sources in terms of like the check marks and just gave anyone who wanted to pay for a check mark. So now you just have a bunch of random people throwing out information on the internet, and it really leads to a lot of disinformation. And so he added to the chaos instead of contributing to making journalism better.
Yeah, I just don't understand why almost every one of the national news stations, which tend to be very, very far left, they said that he did contribute money to a Democratic cause. I can't remember what the name.
And that was the initial reports over the weekend, and then I feel like it shifted later on in the weekend.
It always shifts later on in the weekend. It just makes me very, very sad. I don't care who the hell they're trying to shoot. I'm disgusted by that. I have a different opinion than you, so you should kill me. What? Really?
Well, the last thing the United States needs is any type of assassination.
You got that.
Doesn't matter the party, doesn't matter the candidate.
You're right.
We do not need it because it will lead to total chaos.
Yeah, it will. There's no doubt about it. And I just, they've still got people saying that it was staged. There was a local disc jockey apparently saying the whole thing was staged. And you should tell the guy that got killed that it was staged. He should wake up now.
Talk to his family.
Talk to his family about it. See how staged it was.
Yeah.
I just, that I blame on people like you, Kristen Burt, you Hollywood people. You're a disaster.
I'm not. I think the disaster might be the Secret Service, to be honest.
Yeah, they did not do a great job.
Not do a great job. And if you look at, and people are creating their own conspiracy theories, but I just look at the chaos in the moments. And if you compare the chaos in the moments after President Reagan was shot to what happened on this particular weekend, it is a very different reaction. And I don't know if training is different. I don't know what happened maybe in the advanced team, because there's always an advanced team that goes ahead of time, checks out, what's happening, where are the strategic points, where do we have to lock the building down. And, when you have crowd members saying, hey, we went up to a cop and said, there's someone on the roof over there. That's uncomfortable. Yeah. And from my perspective, as someone who has covered Oscars and Emmys, all of the buildings in the area have security teams with snipers and guns and things like that. So if that's for Hollywood, why aren't we doing that for our presidential candidates, our president, any of that? We should be keeping these people safe, because even if it isn't just an American that wants to possibly kill a world's leader, there are people outside of the United States who would also like to accomplish that.
No, you're absolutely right about that. I just really don't understand why they didn't do a better job. Literally, he was 160 yards away.
Yeah, it was like 150 yards roughly away. Like one of the only buildings in this field that they needed to cover. And yeah, like you're saying, there's plenty of people in the United States as well as around the world. And it's just another gathering of people, which in this country seems to always be a target for would-be shooters. So you think they would do a little bit better job.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable in crowds anymore either. I got to be honest. Like I really think about why I'm going, where I'm going. I went to the Hollywood Bowl recently. There were about 16,000 people probably there that night. But, I'm always thinking in my head, and I hate thinking this way, where's my nearest exit? Like even just exiting the bowl at the end of the night, I'm like, that's too big of a crowd crush. I'm going to go, out and around now. Yeah. Maybe that's safer. I shouldn't be thinking like that, but I do.
Yeah, I understand why you would think that way, though. We have got to get away from this, and it's on both sides, the extreme political views that are just insane. These people got to go away. Just shut up, for Christ's sake. I don't know why you want to be so extreme in your politics anyway. Why do they want to be like that? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't either. Like I said, I grew up in a household where, Democrats and Republicans talked to each other, loved one another. They were cousins. It was very nice.
That doesn't exist anymore, though. That has been gone since I think about 2015, maybe 16. So
it's all about money.
I just think that everyone has their point of view. You're not going to change minds. And because the views have become so extreme on both ends, there's no meeting in the middle to say, I understand your point. I don't agree with you, but I understand your point. That doesn't exist anymore.
What does drive someone to get that far sold on either side of an argument? I've never been in an argument in my life where I said, I know I'm 100% right. You don't know. I mean, how do you get so severe in your views? I don't get that.
I don't know, because I'm someone who just goes, I don't know. I don't even understand what we're living through right now.
Yeah. No, I know.
Sometimes I'm like, I just want people to wake up. I'm like, wake up. Do you see what is happening to our country? Wake up. We got to figure out a way to make this all happen and work together. I don't know.
Yeah, we do. Jude just got here, so everybody's in a good mood. Oh my God!
It must be pouring rain outside because he is soaking wet.
Oh, is he?
Jude, little wet puppers.
Little wet puppy, roaming the odd heat. I'm telling you, you guys are so lucky. You're not going to be at my house tonight. Well, actually, it won't be at the house because I'm picking Catherine up at the airport, and I'm obviously going to have to bring Jude with me. He is going to lose his mind in that car. He goes berserk when he sees her. You ever had a pet like that? You just lost their mind when they saw you?
Yes, because I have two of them, and I just got home yesterday from Chicago, and we're back to our normal schedule here at the house. And I sat up because I'm still on Central Time, and the second I sat up, my cat's like, "Hello," right in my face. Good morning. What are we doing? How about a snack?
Doesn't that make you feel good about yourself, though, that they love you that much?
It does. And London was like right on my lap when I was like doing some notes this morning. And I thought, oh, she misses her little like work schedule.
Maybe we should pay attention to our pets. Even dogs and cats don't get along, but they don't shoot each other. So that's good.
You know what? I've lived in a household with a dog and a cat, and they got along very well.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah, it does happen.
No question about it. But maybe we should follow animals' leads. They don't open fire on each other. So, what do you think?
Yeah, my cats just do they hiss at each other occasionally. That's it. So we can just go around going like.
You know what I love too about cats? Cats give you the cold shoulder. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Oh, you haven't met my cats. You haven't met my cats. My cats are like, do you love me? You should pet me. You should hold me. You should feed me.
Yeah, that's great about pets, though. What are you gonna do without Jude at the house? My God, he's been gone for 4 days. So now I'm gonna sit and watch. I don't know what should I watch with him tonight until I go pick up Catherine at the airport.
Scooby-Doo.
Yes, they put something with animals on to distract him.
Animals on the whole deal. That'd be a good idea. So how's Hollywood doing with all this stuff?
Well, I mean, we had a lot of deaths. It was, we talked about Shelley Duvall last week, and then it was Dr. Ruth, and then it was Richard Simmons, and then it was Shannon Doherty, and then it was James B. Sicking, and some of you may know him as Doogie Howser's dad, or he was one of the series regular on Hill Street Blues. But it was just a really wild time. I think probably Shannon Doherty was the one that resonated the most, just because 90210 is still a part of the lexicon and pop culture. She was 53. She had a really long fight with breast cancer, and we've lost 2 of the cast members from that show.
Jesus.
Yeah. We lost Luke Perry in 2019. He died from a stroke.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, and they were, the crazy thing is they were Brenda and Dylan. They were like the main central couple when the show first started as like the big, teen romance. So they're both gone, which is really sad.
It's kind of sad when Richard Simmons dies. He's a workout expert and he croaks at 76.
He had just celebrated his birthday the day before. I know. And his brother just said, he made a lot of people happy, and I hope you just celebrate his life instead of being sad about it. I am curious, though, and I believe we've talked about it here. Pauly Shore has been dying to do a biopic on Richard Simmons. He did not have his blessing, and he's been saying, I'm moving forward with this. Now this kind of gives him, free reign to really go forward with the story.
Did you ever spend any time with Richard Simmons?
I used to. He had a dance studio out here in Beverly Hills that was very famous, and we used to take his classes called Slimmins. Slimmins. But honestly, it was a joyous hour. He did what I would call like a dance circle. Everyone would get into a circle at the end, and he'd pull people in and they'd dance. It just really was a celebration. I think he made people, all body types, all ages, all backgrounds, feel really welcome into his studio without judgment.
Came into the KQ morning show many, many years ago wearing a tutu.
That's fabulous. And sparkles, I hope.
Oh, absolutely. You had to have sparkles. He was a very nice, but you could tell by looking in his eye that he had a lot of trouble. That people get that look in their eye when they've been through hell.
I think there was a lot of sadness in his life.
No doubt.
And, he became kind of a recluse after he retired. There was a lot of like, where is Richard Simmons? There was a podcast. People were concerned. Some people thought there was some elder abuse going on with his housekeeper. That proved to be untrue. But, a lot of people were just worried because he was so out there for so long. I mean, he used to show up on David Letterman's show regularly, maybe like once a month.
I liked when he started talking in rhythm. I was downstairs yesterday having a good time. And he was like singing his words instead of
You just gave Richard Simmons a John F. Kennedy accent and then in his sing-song voice.
In his sing-song voice. And who else used to do that too? There was somebody else who used to do that all the time. The sing-song voice. I don't remember who it was. Doesn't matter.
Paul Rubens did a little bit of that.
Jerry Lewis did it. Yeah, Jerry Lewis
did it.
Lady, what are you doing?
Yeah. So just a lot of sad deaths. And then the Alec Baldwin trial, I feel like remiss if we just don't, mention it just a little bit, because on Friday, that entire case got thrown out completely with prejudice, because the prosecution team and one of the prosecutors quit right in the middle of the hearing as this was all unfolding. Because they did not give over evidence to Baldwin's team, which would have helped Baldwin's case, with some of the bullets that matched the live bullets that also killed Helena Hutchins.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for the Netflix documentary on this. And just to say, for Alec Baldwin, he's not out of the woods on this. There is still one more civil case with Helena Hutchins' mother, father, and sisters who are in the Ukraine. Helena Hutchins' husband did settle the case in 2022. Remember, he is now an executive producer on the film that they finished of Rust. And so he has a financial stake in that. He's also working with Joel Souza and a documentary team. So there's a financial settlement there. Half of it on the production side, and I think half of it was a cash settlement as well.
Would you go see Rust?
Mm-mm.
Me either. I have no interest.
It is too uncomfortable.
Yep.
And I understand Helena Hutchins' family saying, she was really invested in this and this is her work, but she's worked on other films that I think would be just easier to watch. And I think it speaks for, low budget films when there is ammunition. And I really hope SAG takes a hard stance on this in terms of what does safety look like when there are firearms on set and it's low budget, because there are accidents on Marvel films with big budgets. The concern is what happened on a low budget film.
All right, sister. Well, we'll try to slog through another deal here, see what happens with all of this stuff. Unbelievable.
No, I know. Sad weekend, but hopefully we will be looking up the rest of the week. I hope so.
I hope so too. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Bye.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. That is going to do it for this show. Be back with the family show in about 10, 12 minutes.